Well, hello, everybody. Brand new week here with Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. So glad you are with us here today. Looks like we're both back in studios where we are most of the time, but there's certainly instances where we're out on remote location. Good to have both of us back in the studio, I would say.
Yeah, late last week I was did the Thursday show from Collierville, Tennessee, and the Friday show from Jonesboro, Arkansas. Back in the home studio here after another Troy Series win in baseball. They beat Arkansas State 2 out of 3. Final series of the regular season comes up starting this Thursday. A little bit later on, we'll talk with Kyle George about it. It's Troy's in third, Southern Miss is in second, and Southern Miss will come to town.
I don't want to, it's like when a pitcher's got a no-hitter going, you don't talk to him, and he sits at the end of the dugout or whatnot. Is there some record? I mean, if Troy wins this next series, will they set some record for maybe a team never losing a series in a year?
Well, Troy is the only team in the country that has not lost a series all season long. Not one. Non-conference, conference, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nobody else has done that. It's been done before, but nobody else has done it this year. So they got one more series left, and then the Sun Belt Tournament, which is starting a week from tomorrow at Riverwalk Stadium in Montgomery. So it's a big deal for Troy. They stand in third in the league. We'll get to the Auburn and Alabama. Well, let's get to those now.
Well, if you would allow me, Barrett, because I've been thinking about this since yesterday afternoon. When I received these texts from people, I would not normally get texts like this from them.
Right.
And it just goes to show the power of Dennis Mitchell. I mean, I had people texting me, hey, man, have you heard from Dennis? Have you seen this? Have you heard? Sabu passes away?
Yeah. We never, ever knew. And Dennis was the first to tell us. This is what John said. So John is able to respond to those texts and correspondences in the affirmative. Yeah, Dennis Mitchell told me.
Yeah.
We never knew. We never got to know whether Sabu could make a bull shot.
He can make a shoe stink.
Yeah. But inside joke from Caddyshack.
And maybe Dennis isn't up this early, or is this does he wrestle in a league Dennis doesn't like? Because Larry, I'm telling you, I'm getting text yesterday, Barry. It just shows you the power of Dennis and this program. People going, hey man, did you hear this? Have you heard from Dennis Mitchell yet?
Yeah, of course we
one
have.
Of them back. I said, well, I haven't, but I can promise you Barry has.
Well, Sabu was an American professional wrestler. His real name is Terry Bronk.
Terry Bronk, yeah.
And he passed away over the weekend. He died, I guess it was Friday, at the age of 60. Yikes. Yeah. He actually was born 364 days after John. I'm looking at Wikipedia. He was born December 12th, 1964.
Oh,
instead of late December in 63.
How did you do that math that quick? Gee whiz.
Well, it's 365 days minus 1. So, yeah, he passed away. We first heard it from Dennis Mitchell, and we were sorrowful. I didn't get a chance because, again, we're busy, but I didn't get a chance to comfort Dennis, give him some words of solace.
Now wait a minute. Terrence is telling us that he had a match 3 weeks ago. A retirement match. And thank you for the RIP there, Terrence. That's very nice.
Yeah. Here we go. Again, from Wikipedia, April 18th, 2025, Sabu wrestled his retirement match at Game Changer Wrestling's Joey Janela's Spring Break 9.
Oh, nice.
3 weeks before his death. Spring Break 9, also known as one of the reasons why John extended his college career.
Yeah.
That was 3 weeks ago.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
It's kind of like Coach Bryant. You retire 3 weeks later, you're dead.
There you go. But the entire wrestling community, nay, the entire sporting world was rocked by the passing of Sabu. And I don't mean to trivialize it.
No, heck no.
Because I do know it's hurtful to Dennis.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that he's not with us anymore.
What about Theotis? Theotis actually heckled.
I'm telling you, Theotis is around our age. Heck, he's around Sabu's age.
Yeah.
But Theotis has been around. He said, I heckled Sabu at an event in Montgomery like 25 years. I was calling him Bin Laden. That was before 9/11. Theotis, we have been around a good bit. John and I have done a bunch, but there is nothing that we can relate that either Theotis hasn't done before or that make us say, there's no way anybody has done that. He did.
Well,
no human being alive does that. But nope, Theotis.
I still know Theotis. I knew him growing up. He lived here in Montgomery.
I
guess after college and early adult life as well. But so Theotis has been around. There's no doubt. So maybe it's too soon to bring this up, Barry. But I'd actually maybe a little bit. It wasn't on the top of my mind when I woke up this morning. There were a lot of other things in the sporting world that I was kind of wanting to get to, and I know we will this morning.
Sabu was one, obviously.
Well,
the death of Sabu.
Not really. Until I was reminded when I was scanning AL.com in the sports section. And once again, I'm thinking, should this be in the sports section? I mean, was this really a sport?
Oh, yeah. See, John is the final arbiter on what belongs and where. I'm with you on that. That's like, it's kind of like, is it really sports? That's like putting the lines in the sports section, which John relied upon way back in the day. Pops would open up the newspaper. He'd look down at the corner back section. John. Yeah, Dad. You clipped up lines again. I need those. Okay, I'll bring them right down, Dad. Yeah, over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
But is that really sports?
Well, no. It's like the Kentucky Derby. I mean, is it a sport or is it a gambling event? Is it a bet?
It's like Bobby Knight once said, the Indiana coach. He says, why do they put the lines in the sports section if it's illegal? That's like putting houses of prostitution in the society pages or whatever.
That's a good point. Yeah, and we had people ask us about that early on in the radio career. Why are you talking about things that are illegal? I said, well, it's in the newspaper. I mean, it's anybody can look at it. I'm just commenting. I'm just commenting on what the newspaper wrote. But anyway, I just wondered about that. But I know Dennis is probably hurting today, and Dennis, a lot of fans out there thinking about you, Dennis. I mean, they were texting me yesterday wanting to know if I'd heard from you. So you got a lot of love out there, my man.
In baseball, Braves got walked off last night by the lowly Pittsburgh Pirates.
Now, somebody said late last week, this is trouble for the Braves.
Yep. I mean, they fired their manager.
Yeah.
We got what is it? Was it the Pointer Sisters? They got a new attitude.
Yeah, right. We are family coming back to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll ever end up at Jordan-Hare, but I'm still working on that too.
Yep. The Braves lose last night 4-3. To the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pittsburgh scores a run in the bottom of the ninth off the Braves closer. Atlanta right now, still 2 games under 500, just like they were before.
Yeah.
They win the series, but they lose the finale. 19-21, 6.5 games back off the.
Well, that's what kind of concerns me, if you want me to just be completely honest. I mean, I will admit I was a little giddy. I checked the score, didn't watch the game. That's a given. And I'm looking at the scores and go, oh boy, look at this. Pirates won again. And then I scan the standings. I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. I mean, the Braves are like in third place. What happened to the cellar? I mean, they're like 6 back from the Mets. Yep. That's no fun. That's not what I want to see.
Come on. I can't really comment on that. They're doing well and everything. They are back at home. They take on the Washington Nationals, the former Montreal Expos.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Comes up tonight, 6:15 at home for the Braves. It was a really good start for the two SEC teams in the state of Alabama in their series. Well, no, it really wasn't. It was a good start for Auburn. Both Auburn and Alabama win their series over the weekend. Auburn played at home, and I think I mentioned this. I mentioned this to a lot of my buddies. They played on Thursday. They started their series against South Carolina at Plainsman Park on Thursday. Yeah. We did comment on it Friday. They beat South Carolina 24-2 in 7 innings.
Did they fire their manager like the Colorado Rockies did for giving up 21?
No, but they won the next game 11-10 on Friday, and then they win the second game Friday. Auburn got done with their series by the time Friday was over. They played a doubleheader because it rained so much over the weekend in Auburn and here and everywhere. I was right in the middle of it, middle of the night last night. So the Tigers score 46 runs in a 3-game series. That's the most runs they've ever scored in an SEC series. South Carolina's terrible. So Auburn sweeps. Alabama, they opened up their series in Tuscaloosa against number 6 Georgia, who's number 1 in the RPI. Georgia is all that. Alabama opened up against Georgia on Friday in Tuscaloosa. They got beat. Alabama got beat 19-3. Only got a field goal out of it in 7 innings, a shortened game because of the run rule, 19-3. But
is Barry Schottenheimer or Schallenberger, is he still the coach up there? Who's the coach at Alabama?
Barry Schallenberger hasn't been the coach at Alabama in about 35 years or so. They've had at least 3 coaches since then. 4 coaches: Jim Wells,
know how I remember him, Barry?
the immortal Brian Bohannon, and now Rob Vaughn.
When they put your names on the back of a baseball jersey, if you have a long name, it kind of goes like an upside down.
That was him, Schallenberger. I remember that. Alabama used to have their uniforms are still not great.
What?
But they used to have the ugliest uniforms in college baseball. The ugliest. They had the solid stripe down the sleeve, kind of like the Phillies did. Anyway, so they lose in 7 innings on Friday.
Okay.
But they beat Georgia on Saturday 9-3, and they win 5-4 yesterday. So they got the snot kicked out of them in the first game, but they end up winning the series. So there you go. Auburn in a tie in 4th place at 16-11, putting themselves back in a position to host. So did Alabama. Alabama beats Georgia, and like we mentioned, Georgia, that's a huge RPI boost for Alabama. Georgia was number 1 in RPI. Alabama's number 8 in RPI. Auburn is number 2 in RPI in the country because they play the toughest schedule in the nation.
You got any QBR ratings while you're looking that up? That's a different sport. Totally different sport.
So basically what I'm saying, not only are Auburn and Alabama doing pretty doggone good in a really good league, John, they're in a pretty good position where they both should host
I want to talk about
which is kind of a big deal. Auburn will they got Jacksonville State tomorrow night at home. That's their final home game. And then they play 3 at Ole Miss in Oxford. Alabama, they don't have a game this week, but they will close the regular year, and Alabama's home schedule's over. They will close the regular year against the Florida Gators starting on Thursday, by the way. So there you go.
Somewhat, JD says, how about those Missouri Tigers? I think they got a couple of wins over the weekend.
They did. How about that? I got to, real quick, I got to give you that one because I think John and I had, we do. We make fun of Missouri on a regular basis. Missouri began the year, the conference schedule, 0-24.
Tough.
0-24. What in the world is happening? They go Missouri 0-24 in the SEC, 0-24. They go to Texas A&M, and they sweep the
How about
Aggies
that?
in College Station.
Way to go, Mizzou. Yeah, way to get off the mat. Love it.
It's difficult because it's a really bad weekend for Texas A&M, but Philip can't dog Kellen Mond about it.
No.
Philip hates him some Texas A&M.
No, he does.
Gosh, that's got to feel terrible for those Aggies fans. Not only did they lose their head coach to the University of Texas.
That's a slap.
But they also get swept they lose 3 games to a team that hadn't won 1 game all year.
I mean, give it up for Mizzou. They could have packed up the bags and said, we're done, but they gave it their all. All right, Terrence, with some good chats today. We're going to talk a little NBA when we return. Theotis also yelled slump buster at Mark Grace. I doubt you're the only guy that ever did that, Theotis. I think a lot of people probably yelled
I bet
at
he
Gracie.
wishes, to be honest. I bet Gracie wishes he never did get on the Rome show. Of course, he was on the Rome show about 50 times in his life. But I wish he had never made that slump buster reference.
What a great story.
Where you throw yourself on the grenade for the fellas if you're in
the
a
gnarliest chick you can find in the hotel lobby. I think that's how he described it.
Did he say lay the something? I don't know.
What a great story. So Barry, Brent Jones at the bottom of the hour today.
Kyle George is coming up.
Kyle George.
The executive associate athletics director at Troy University, coming up at 8:30, I believe.
Okay, I've written that down, but we can certainly understand that. Brent's, I'm sure, extremely busy, as he always is, being the AD at Troy.
The Troy golf team, men's golf team, set to open the NCAA regional this morning, but I understand it's raining up in Illinois, so they're scrambling around trying to get that covered.
Troy's hosting it in Illinois?
No, they're at it. They're participating in it.
Yeah.
At the University of Illinois, whatever that is, Champaign-Urbana.
I think so.
So we are underway. It is 17 minutes into our Monday live show. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. In association with Yellowhammer News, it's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market offers the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of Mexico with deliveries daily. Snapper, grouper, pompano, flounder, copia, along with medium, large, and jumbo shrimp, hand-picked crab meat, and chucked oysters. They can even cook your order for easy, quick pickup. The Destin Connection can make a po' boy with any of their seafood items that folks in New Orleans rave about. Go by and see them at 3750 Norman Bridge Road or call 288-4272 for pickup orders.
Okay, welcome back in. About 19 minutes past the hour on this Monday. Yeah, you're right, Barry. A lot of rain, man. It is, need a canoe out there to get around.
Yeah, we were
much lately.
We were coming back last night from Jonesboro, Arkansas on the bus. 11 o'clock, 11:30 last night, got back at 1 o'clock. And I mean, from Meridian, Mississippi to Troy, I mean, it was solid rain the whole time.
Before we move on, and I did not want to, a lot of things I'm thinking about got listed here and wanted to mention this before he heads out to school this morning.
Yeah.
But I wanted to congratulate the Montgomery Academy soccer team. Number 5 child is a member of the MA soccer team, and they won the 7A state championship on Saturday, defeating Oak Mountain, who was the number 1 team in the nation, had won 49 games, or actually played 49 games in a row without a loss. Won 46 games, only tied 3 of them. Had not lost in 49 games, and MA beats them 2-1 to win the 7A state championship. And number 5 child is a part of that, and he joins number 1 child, who also won a state championship at MA in volleyball.
I remember.
In 20, how long ago was that? Geez.
And number 2 child almost won the ESPN bracket challenge.
That's exactly right.
This past year at March Madness.
So number 3 and 4 better start stepping it up. That's the way I see it.
Come on now, let's go. Yeah. Hey, congratulations. That's got to feel like, I don't know, Kurt Russell is running the team, and it's like beating the Ruskies in 1980 in Lake Placid. And only thing would have been better for number 5 child. Only thing better for number 5 child is if Al Michaels was calling the game and he said, "Do you believe in miracles?" Yes.
So Barry, the game.
It's like that. That's all. What like
the game is on, some streaming service, high school, whatever.
Yeah, NFHS.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And the guy that's doing it's got this terrible smoker's cough, and he's hacking halfway through the play-by-play.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of rainy a little bit, and it was exciting. MA jumped on them 2-0. Oak Mountain got a penalty kick. I'm going, whoa, wait a minute, penalty kick. Yellow cards, red cards. I said, no wonder I didn't play soccer. I'd have been red carded all day.
Yeah, John has stepped on the field. Just there you go.
But you know what? You're running up and down the field all day long, and then there's a penalty, and this guy gets basically a free kick. I mean, he's like, 20 feet from the net, and that goalie's got to guard that much space. I'm thinking, wait a minute. That's kind of a crappy way to give a reward for a penalty. I don't know. I thought that was kind of lame, but needless to say, they held him off and
it all went out.
It all went good.
Okay. Yeah. Good for them. Yeah. Man, that's a memory you'll never forget.
Yeah, he's pretty fired up about it.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, Barry, the MA and the broadcaster brought this up because, that MA athletic program, they're making some waves down there in Montgomery because, they won the basketball state title as well.
Yeah.
So, so he got even though he was in between his coughs, he was able to bring that point up.
Well, John's used to that. I mean, John and I, you want to talk about smoker's cough, right down the hall for 20-something years. That's why I swear, that's why they invented the cough button.
Yeah.
Never had a cough button in our studio until the very end, but that's why they invented the cough button was for all the FM DJs down the hall from where we used to work. I'm thinking, man, you might want to cut down to, 2 packs a day.
Yeah, never understood that.
Jason catches me. Jason Jones, somebody. He said, "Did you just say y'all drove through Meridian?" He said, "Never get on a bus with that driver again." I didn't mean to say Meridian. I meant to say Tupelo. Yeah, you don't go from Arkansas to say Birmingham or Montgomery through Meridian. That's
no,
I
didn't.
Good
well,
call.
Barry, Dennis has arrived.
But Dennis, you just woke up. Dennis, we just did a segment. We just did our first segment. John gave you props. He says, "John and Barry, how you doing today?" Bad news, John. Another pro wrestler has died, Sabu. Yeah, we talked about that for 10 minutes. Yep. And John mentioned that you were the first one to tell him. So John started getting texts from his associates saying, "Hey, did you hear about Sadu?" He says, "Yeah." Dennis told us about it. We did our little eulogy for Sabu, who passed away at the age of 60. Yes. He said, "John, I heard when the mayor discussed maybe getting a convention center. Barry, what is the latest?"
Latest, yeah.
Hey,
I know that's what they're wanting to do. They're hoping to be able to get that plan in action. Actually ran into the mayor on Saturday, as a matter of fact. He and one of his sons were walking through in Cloverdale, and I saw him. And we didn't talk about the convention center, but I know
Uh-huh.
that's top of his. One of the things that's on the top of his list, Dennis. And it's not something that's going to happen overnight, but I know they're wanting it. They feel like they've got to have it to get the bigger events to come to town.
Well, yeah, and with that in mind, Terrence, he says, Longshore, I got to figure out how to get this thing to stay, but I can't do it. Longshore and McKnight, whenever the future updated and expanded Montgomery Convention Center is completed, I sure hope we bid at the Sun Belt, SWAC basketball tournaments, SEC women's tournament, etc. So do I.
Totally agree.
That could happen. That could happen. That should happen.
I made the statement years ago when Mayor Strange was in office about the SEC should the city of Montgomery should submit a bid for the SEC baseball tournament, which they did, knowing all along they weren't going to get it, but at least they were out there. People go, wow, look at this. Montgomery wants a part of this. Look at this. The stadium is like 2 blocks from all these hotels, restaurants. I mean, everything's centered. You don't have to drive anywhere. You don't have to go out to, 459 and sit in a parking lot somewhere that's so far away from anywhere else you want to be to eat or stay or whatnot. Kind of a little shot at Hoover. But
they ain't thinking about that, though,
Mm-mm.
because Roy Kramer and Harvey Schiller and the late, great Mike Slive, they don't care that, the convention, the hotels are a couple of blocks away in Montgomery. They're worried about the fact that they can roll out of the rack at 7:00 in their own house, and they can get to the Hoover Met in 10 minutes. That's all they're worried.
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder. I'm still thinking, wow, they are actually going to have media days somewhere else than Birmingham. I mean, wow, these guys are going to have to sleep in a different bed. That's amazing. But, they did it, and people would say, well, what happens when Auburn and Alabama face each other? You don't have enough seats. That's what makes baseball, well, man, I was going to say great. But that's one of the unique things about baseball. Standing room only. Why not? Standing room only. Got that big area in the outfield there at Riverwalk Stadium. Look, they get enough people in there. I ain't worried about that.
No, they got that. They got that berm. They got that slope out in the right field corner over there.
I would hope that in the future why not? Or some other SEC event, but don't let these other cities get it. So yeah, Terrence, I'm all for that.
Oh yeah, I like it.
Now we just need more air travel coming into town, and we'll talk more about that Thursday at the Montgomery Regional Airport.
Yes. Want to talk about this real quick. First reaction when you heard the news, not about Sabu passing. Saints quarterback Derek Carr retiring at the age of 34 due to a shoulder injury that requires surgery. The muscles are compromised. They're all stretched and screwed up. They're going to do surgery on his rotator cuff or something like that. And he just calls it quits at 34.
So we got Spencer Rattler, this old guy they drafted from where is he from? 27-year-old Schaefer.
Tyler Shuck.
Tyler Shuck
is the guy that they're thinking. Shuck is one of those guys that has moved around to about 4 or 5 different schools.
When I heard the Saints announce his name in the draft at Green Bay, I went, something that rhymed with Shuck. Did they what? They drafted this guy?
Yeah. Well, he's 25. He played for Oregon, Texas Tech, Louisville.
Been around.
Selected in the second round. If you've never heard of Tyler Shuck, that's because he was never really great, He was just kind of there, He lost the job at Oregon. So he went to Texas Tech. He got hurt at Texas Tech, went to Louisville. Never really was great. I don't know why they love the pick, why he's a second rounder, and why he's immediately projected as the front runner to start week 1. I don't know.
So here's my deal.
Derek Carr, you never really got a chance,
why are we finding this out now? Did he not know this months ago?
Well, he knew his shoulder was jacked up. But, get it fixed like they always do. I don't know if it was Dr. Andrews or somebody took a look at it and says, son, he says,
Yeah.
we can fix it. You'll be able to hold your kids and play golf and all that. But it's a little bit of a different thing between holding your kids and, being able to toss the football around with your buddies and all that and playing in the NFL. So he just, he just got the bad news on it is all that was.
I wondered if it was a contract deal that you got to stay with the team till this point. Then after that, you can decide. But you'll keep your bonus or whatever. You'll get paid up until this point. That's kind of a tough deal there.
Maybe the thing.
JD says that Carr made $220 million from 2014 to 2024, 8th highest player in the NFL during that time frame. Man, the dude made some money. There's no doubt. So he's in good shape there.
Didn't that shock anybody? I mean, Derek Carr, he ain't exactly Drew Brees. He's not exactly Peyton or Brady or anybody like that. But that guy made $250 million, and I love him. I think he is a fantastic human being and all that, everything you want. But, man, that's an obscene amount of money.
So they got there's 3 of them. I saw the article. This kid they drafted, Spencer Rattler, and somebody else are the 3 battling it out. So as I mentioned on Friday, the Saints, in my mind, are in the Arch Manning sweepstakes. And what that means is don't look for this to be a very good year. I mean, there's going to be a lot of losses. I mean, just go to the Dome, have a good time, have some pops, maybe get some food and whatnot, and just enjoy the atmosphere. I don't think what you're going to see on the field is going to be that great. And I'll know better about that, Barry, on Thursday's show after the NFL reveals the schedules on Wednesday night. I'll give you a little bit better feel. I can't wait for that.
The 2 things about it. Number one, are we sure about Arch Manning? I mean, really, are we? The Arch Manning, how many passes did he throw last year? 60? I mean, is this worth thanking your
I see what you're saying.
So you can.
I think there's a lot of hype. Maybe it's not warranted, but a lot of hype about Arch Manning and blah, blah, blah. What I probably should say, whoever the hottest or the best rated quarterback is coming into the draft, that's who they need to go for, whether it's Arch Manning or not. But, it's kind of like saying, hey, man, go get me a Coke. You might have wanted a root beer, but you just say that. You got a Coke? And they bring, so it's kind of like, hey, the Arch Manning. Oh, you didn't get Arch, but this guy's pretty good. Oh, okay, I'll take it.
Who knows whether D'Annunzio really wanted a Coke or whether he just wanted some sort of soft drink from Danny Noonan, and he's not paying 50 cents for it.
No, I don't care what
it's like a Band-Aid or a Coke or
a Xerox machine.
Yeah, can you Xerox this for me? It's not. So
that was not. I can't say I was shocked about that. But it's going to be a tough year. To be a tough year. So we'll just have to move on that one, I guess. Man, William is just slamming the capital city today. Come on, William. I was actually in downtown Montgomery yesterday. It looked great.
Let's see.
You're seeing all these trash problems. Now, the homeless psychopaths, do you know they're psychopaths?
He says one drive through William, and that's not the name he goes by, but William says one drive through town and seeing the trash and homeless psychopaths situation would have told you're not getting anything like the SEC tournament.
I've seen a lot of homeless psychopaths in the French Quarter. They seem to get a lot of events down there. A lot of trash too. Woo, and smell. Oh, that smell. Oh.
And what they're wearing and those clothes.
Yeah.
William's down on Montgomery right now. But we have lots to get to today. The Phantoms' daily dog was not the MA soccer team.
Nah. Yeah.
Because he couldn't get a line. Well, he found a line on it out there in the, from some of his buddies beforehand, but it was just friendlies. I don't even know how I know they bet on soccer. It's one of the reasons why it's so popular. I mean, they bet on anything.
But
that wasn't the Phantom's daily dog.
Yeah. In sports where there's not a big differential in points, You know, it's to
Baseball.
me, it's kind of tough. Baseball, soccer, maybe it's a money line thing. I don't know. I'll look into that because I'm the fan. I might have to get into soccer because the NBA season is coming to a close. Well, we still got a ways to go, but you know what I mean. I do have a question for you, Barry, when we come back from the next break. I know Philip might have an opinion about this. He didn't post anything today, Chris, but yesterday's Sunday Musings was pretty good. Just saying.
Okay. Oh, talking with some old fogey coaches and stuff? That was good. Yep. 25 minutes until the hour. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. In association with Yellowhammer News, it's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
You're not buying sticks, stems, and pine cones. You're buying premium long-diddle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the River Region, full of color that will last all season long. Kenny has locations in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn, and no order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. Pickup is available, or your order can be delivered. They can even spread your pine straw if you like. So call or text Kenny today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959 for all of your pine straw needs.
All right, man, grab a Budweiser and take a knee. It is the best time of the year. It's baseball season. That means sunshine. It means behind-the-back peanut tosses. And it means sharing some cold, frosty Budweisers with your boys. Because there's nothing more American than watching America's game with America's beer. So let me ask you something. Are you ready to bring your A game? Are you ready to cheer every frozen rope down the line and amazing catch at the warning track? Are you ready for pitchers' duels and slugfests? Tell me, are you ready for the thrill of an incredible walk-off victory? I can't hear you. Are you ready for Budweiser and baseball? Then get on your feet, raise an ice-cold Bud, and let's make this season larger than life. Great times are waiting. Grab some Bud!
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Local banking expertise, the newest innovations and technology, personal attention, genuine hospitality. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. They invite you to experience it for yourself. Welcome to banking above and beyond at Riverbank and Trust. Locations throughout the River Region, locations throughout the state of Alabama. River Bank and Trust. Okay, welcome back in, everybody. About 23 minutes to the top of the hour. This is a really more of a question, not really knowing. But I did see that there was some softball news.
Yes.
I mentioned as I was looking at Auburn Undercover, there was a picture of the Lady Aub softball team watching to see where they were going to go.
There's no such thing, John. No such thing. Lady Aub softball.
And of course, it was written by Philip. I wonder if Philip was at that.
Oh, you don't think whenever they're watching, when they're having that NCAA women's softball tournament selection show, and they announce now also making the bracket, the Auburn Tigers, that Philip didn't leap from his chair along with those players, and heck yeah, he was there. Here's the deal with softball. They announced the softball brackets yesterday. Softball season's over, blah, blah, blah. But the NCAA softball tournament bracket was revealed yesterday. 64 teams, just like baseball, just like, well, mostly men's basketball. The SEC sends 14 teams to the tournament. 14. And again, what did we say? CJ Duncan told us Vanderbilt doesn't even have softball.
True.
So there ain't but 15 teams in the SEC.
What team didn't make it?
That's what I'm looking for because I knew you were going to ask. So 14 teams make the softball tournament from the SEC. That's a record. and including 7 of the top 8 national seeds.
Here's
It's
my
incredible.
question.
Hosting are Texas A&M, who's the number 1 overall seed, 4-time defending champion Oklahoma, the number 2 seed. This is what they did. This is why Oklahoma didn't get the 1 seed. They got screwed by Greg Sankey because they were supposed to play the championship game. It was Texas A&M and Oklahoma in the SEC softball tournament championship game, and there was rain. So Sankey said, forget it. I mean, they didn't even try to play that championship game. They're going to be co-champions. And so, Texas A&M has just a slight RPI advantage over Oklahoma. So Texas A&M's number 1 seed. Doesn't really matter. Oklahoma a 2, Florida a 3, Arkansas a 4, Texas a 6, Tennessee a 7, South Carolina an 8. The only school in the top 8 seeds that's not from the SEC was Florida State, and they're number 5. Alabama will host. Alabama's a number 15 seed. They will host a regional in Tuscaloosa.
And Auburn is what's
Auburn is in.
Where were they ranked? The reason I ask, and I'm not trying to start something here.
Yeah.
As
far as we know,
I did see where Auburn was headed to Tallahassee.
Yeah.
Seems like they go to Tallahassee a lot, or maybe that's the baseball team. Who knows? Should Alabama have gotten to host a regional? I mean, I'm expecting to hear something from Phillip. Why did Alabama get to host a regional?
Well,
why were they so much better why were they in such a better position than Auburn was?
Their RPI was 16. Auburn's RPI was 20, so it was very close. The only team and Auburn, as Billy Joel once sang, don't ask me why. But Auburn this year, 32-22 overall. They were 6-18 in the SEC. 6-18.
Huh.
Yikes.
That'll get you. That'll hurt you.
I think it's Missouri that didn't get in, but I'm not totally sure.
Well, I just want it to be noted. I mean, here once again, I'm asking the hard questions. Why did Auburn not get to host? I think they should have.
Well,
they deserve. Got the Jane B. Moore softball field. Come on.
Yeah, something. You have a protocol. The NCAA has basic standards, and it was something about desk height in the press box. Evidently, they had some old geezer that was griping to the NCAA or to Auburn about barking his knees underneath
that built those desktops in that softball complex.
Yep.
He's the same guy that built them in the old press box at Jordan-Hare.
Many, many years ago. Yes.
Multiple times. Drove me insane. Bill, Baltimore, you're right. I don't know. Australian rules, football, rugby. There's going to be some baseball and
on the Phantom's Daily Dog. Yeah.
UFL. But I'm telling you, if you've got some action on a UFL game like the Stallions game yesterday, and they scored 12 points in less than 2 minutes to win the game in Protective Stadium in front of 42 people, it's probably more than 42. Take your mom out there as Mother's
70
Day.
Maybe.
Go to a UFL game. But how about the I think it's the largest comeback in UFL history, which is, of course, a brief history, but it is one nonetheless.
That's your submission into the programming. Yesterday, it was the largest comeback in UFL history.
That's what I'm hearing.
That's John. He's got his clipboard just like he always does, and he says, "Mention the largest comeback in UFL history."
They phrase it as the biggest. I guess you could technically maybe say it wasn't the largest. It's kind of like biggest and the rivalry thing, biggest game or
biggest game or biggest rival, as opposed to larger, which is what Leon was getting up in the air traffic control center in airplane. Leon's getting larger.
Was this Houston they beat? Yeah, I think it was the Roughnecks. What is the name of that team?
That's Houston.
The Roughnecks. Overcame a 19-point deficit. Now, you're handicapping a UFL game. You're
already a degenerate at that point and need to re-examine your priorities in life.
Well, I don't know about that. I made a
handicapping
ton off the USFL back in the day. I could pick those like, ooh, it's easy, like ducks on the water. But anyway, 19-point deficit. And say you got Houston +3, and you're up 19, catching 3, you're up 21, and you're going at 22, you're going, wow, man, that is awesome. And you come back, and the Stallions come back and beat you. How about that for the Stallions?
Yeah. I'm thinking, I understand what John's doing here. Do you guys understand? He's getting you prepped. He's getting you ready because he's going to be hitting up on the UFL before the end of the week, and he wants you to kind of
when playoff time rolls around in the UFL, you better believe it. We're going to be on the UFL in the playoffs.
This is the UFL, the Birmingham Stallion rosters with Juju Hughes.
And I think they're on like their third quarterback, Barry, from what I understand. Maybe they're fourth.
Yeah. Quarterbacks keep getting hurt. Alex Magoo was number one. He got hurt. Case Cookus was number 2. It might be Matt Corral right now. Who knows? This is who we're talking about. Chase Cookus, Alex Magoo. I actually have heard of this guy, Larry Roundtree III from Missouri. Come on, people.
Was his father Richard Roundtree, who was the original Shaft?
What you talking about? Ain't nothing much.
Where else you going to get this, folks?
John wants you to start, hey, I may have to get in on that. So later on, whenever the Phantom brings you a Phantom Daily Dog from Roughnecks versus Battlehawks, you can say, all right, okay. John's just getting you ready. He's getting you primed by talking a little UFL and that huge comeback.
Oh, it's beautiful.
The Birmingham Stallions.
Check the line score out on that. If you do get the box score, Barry, do they provide the attendance for these games anymore? They used to be on the bottom of a box score. That was the last thing, attendance.
Okay. It was the Houston Roughnecks. Game book. Here we go. Game book.
Like that. Game book.
All right. The game book. Winds 10 miles an hour, east, southeast, overcast
That's
skies.
huge. You need that before kickoff, not after.
John, I'm not seeing attendance on the official.
That doesn't surprise me.
Game book.
Yeah.
Temperature was 65. It was kind of cool. Okay.
So Theodos brings a good point, Barry. This is a very tight league. There are 4 teams in UFL at 5-2. So this is very close knit. A lot of a competition there. It's kind of heating up. I'll have to admit, I had to kind of step back a little bit and get a look to be able to really form an opinion on the UFL. But I'll say this, proud to say it. I've watched more UFL football than I have Braves baseball so far this spring.
And that's unconscionable. I want to just go ahead and shut this thing down. This is what I got to deal with. He wants to talk Roughnecks Stallions football rather than Braves Pirates or the Braves Nationals tonight. So the Houston Roughnecks, who's starting quarterback Jalen McClendon.
Don't know him.
Against Case Cookus and the Birmingham Stallions. Now,
hey, Bill from Baltimore says he's heard the DC Defender games are kind of fun. Where do they play, Bill? I mean, obviously, where in DC do they play, I guess is what I'm asking. I don't think they play where the Redskins play or whatever they're called. What are they called now?
They're called the Commanders.
Commanders.
Goodness. Just can anybody check? Can you get like number 3 child to go up there and say, hey, Dad, here's Google. They play at Audi Field, which is a soccer-specific stadium in the Buzzard Point neighborhood of Washington, D.C. It's the home of D.C. United. The stadium The stadium seats 20,000.
Buzzard Point, you say?
Buzzard Point.
I got to ask number one child if she's ever heard of that place.
Yeah, Bill from Baltimore. You ever heard of Buzzard Point? Have you traveled out to the Buzzard Point?
I have not been there.
Neighborhood at all, Bill? Yeah, Audi Field.
Well, thanks, Bill. I appreciate that. Okay, now I know where the Nats play. I've been to, is going to the stadium, walking around the outside of it.
Does that not count? Been to the stadium? No, you've not. Have you not been inside the stadium?
I have not been inside. I have walked around the exterior of where the Nationals play. It's a great area. It's called the Navy Yard. Redid.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of great restaurants and bars and hotels and stuff around there. But I didn't. I think somebody, when I was, hey, you want to go to the game? I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, where else are you going to? Can you find any information on the DC Defenders or the Battlehawks or the Stallions like you can about the Braves from Robbie from Greenville? Braves are 5 games over 500 since an 0-7 start without our number one pitcher, Spencer Strider, and all-star outfielder Ronald Acuna Jr., who are expected back by the end of May.
I predicted this. Check the tape. Robbie, where were you during that 0-7 start? Crickets. Didn't hear from you. Not one thing. Now the Braves, of course, they
5
lost.
games over 500 since the 0-7
Got beat by the lowly Pirates in the series over the weekend. Of course,
just one game in the series.
Nationals as well coming in this time. Another crappy team.
Yeah.
But Robbie, come on. I don't want to hear that.
Who do you think you're dealing with here, Robbie? John's all over this one. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a break.
Let's do it.
Can. I think we can talk NHL. If we're talking Battlehawks and the Stallions, let's see what's going on with the old Thrashers and the
NBA. I know we're going to get into some numbers, but just the games tonight, who's playing, we can do a little bit of that. And then the Moneyline magician, Josh Harris, going to join us at the top of the hour.
Just about 9 minutes away. In association with Yellowhammer News, it's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316.
Okay, we got about 5 minutes to the top of the hour. As I mentioned, Josh Harris, the Moneyline magician, joins us on Monday. So he'll do that in about 6 minutes or so. Like a lot of good conversation here this morning on a variety of sports topics. I have to admit, I've been waiting. I knew it was coming. I've somewhat prepared myself for it. It's like what has happened up until today with the Atlanta Braves in the mind of Robbie from Greenville? Doesn't matter. Didn't happen. No big deal.
Yeah.
But now they're over 500 and people are coming back.
They're not over 500 yet. They're 2 games under. And Robbie and JD are right. Braves did lose on Friday. I had forgotten about that. So they did lose the series and come back to open up the series against the Nationals. Robbie is right. The Braves are just treading water right now, waiting for Strider to get back, waiting for Acuna to get back. Remember, their big hotshot offseason free agent signing, Jerickson Profar, the left fielder, going to be all that, former all-star from San Diego. Yeah, he got dinged with 60-game suspension for performance-enhancing drugs, but, it's like getting suspended from NASCAR because, you maybe trade a little bit too much paint. If you're not PEDing, you're not really –
let me ask you this. Is getting suspended from Major League Baseball kind of like getting suspended from school? When you get a suspension, you got to go home and dad's got you out in the yard digging ditches or something. I mean, it's punishment. I mean, you're not just kicking back watching reruns of Three's Company in the afternoon. So what does a baseball player do that's on is it 80 games, 60, however many games it is?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
That's a good question. I remember in school, and of course, I never got suspended. I couldn't tell you. I never got in trouble. I went to the principal's office one time in my entire life, and that was in middle school, and I was scared to death. So I wouldn't know. John may not have ever gotten suspended himself,
I did.
He knew people who did. And they didn't have this. When you got suspended, you had to go home. And which meant somebody had to stay home with you, or unless you're in high school or something like that. And they're going to make you do something. But nowadays they got in-school suspension, like you got to go. But you don't have to go to class.
Yeah.
Which
I never understood. So what's a baseball player do?
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember, Barry. It was probably, it was 45 years ago when me and starting offensive lineman got into a little trouble at a homecoming dance and had to go to Coach Lee's house the next day to tell him about it. And we got a little three-day suspension, a Monday, Tuesday,
Did you have
Wednesday.
to go apologize in front of the whole team and all that stuff?
No, but they made us feel bad enough that it was even worse than having to apologize to the team.
Because they told the team, look, we got these two can I say numbnuts? We got these 2 guys on the team that think they're above the rules here. They think that what they want to do is more important than the team goals here.
Correct.
So they're not going to be with us for a little while. The worst thing, and I played sports and when I was of age and all that kind of stuff, and I never got in trouble, probably should have. But the worst thing is when you get in trouble and they don't make you run like extra wind sprints or run stadium steps or stuff. They made everybody else on the team do it and made sure everybody else on the team knew that you were the reason why they were doing it. And they didn't let you do it. You weren't doing the stadiums or the up-downs or stuff like that.
We could not go to school. So I was under the legal drinking age at the time. I was 18 years old, and we'd been out to a little gathering on a Saturday afternoon before the homecoming dance, and maybe I had a couple of pops or 4, I don't know, and showed
Back
up
in
at
his
the dance.
misforgotten youth.
And we had a policeman that was at the school all the time, just kind of there, kind of giving you parking tickets and things like that. And he noticed me along with this other guy and came up and asked us something. And I guess he didn't like the answer. And anyway, claimed that we had been drinking, didn't give us a breathalyzer or anything like that. I think we admitted we had been, actually. I think we did, but we had not.
Back in that day, you didn't have that stuff, right? You didn't have the breathalyzer. You couldn't blow. You had to just, heel toe, and touch your nose, all that kind of stuff.
Well, no, they did have it.
The breathalyzer?
Oh, they did, because later that spring, I know somebody that had to administer to a breathalyzer. So
Okay.
they did. But anyway, we got suspended for school for 3 days, but had to go to football practice and stand on the sidelines and watch everybody practice while we were there in street clothes, just me and this other guy. And we never ran after practice when I was at Jeff Davis, except that week.
Oh.
And the whole team's out there running as the coach is going, you can thank those two right there for you guys having a run. And
hey, guys,
for hanging out.
Wave your hands at them so they know who's the reason. So, so that the reason why you're running, those two guys right there, because, they broke the rules.
Yeah, that was there again. I've said this before many times. A life lesson. I remember it vividly. That was 45 years ago, probably. I can still remember how the whole thing played out.
And
my parents were out of town. So my older brother had to come get me.
That also explains a couple of other things too. Okay.
And my older brother had to come pick me up from the school. Whew. Yeah.
Ooh.
At that night at the dance. I don't know how my date got home. No. Now that I think about it.
But it's one of those life lessons that we all learn. Not that we're encouraging you to partake in life lessons by that, but maybe with this little story, for some of you youngsters, and we know a lot of the kids watch this program.
Oh, yeah.
Just let our mistakes serve as examples to you of the benefits of just going the straight and narrow, Just we'll commit the mistakes. We'll make the mistakes, so you don't have to. At least that's what I told Jack all those years.
Yeah.
Look, I never could be one of those parents. I never could be one of those parents who said, "Look, don't you try anything." Number one, Jack never got into trouble as well. My son, don't you try this, because if you tried it, I'll find out, and I guarantee you. If you tried it and got caught, I guarantee you it's something that I got caught at either, because I never got caught. I never did anything, So I can't say, wait a minute, you did what? Can you do that? Why wasn't there? I would be that guy if Jack ever was misbehaving or anything like that. But, there's some parents out there who say, see you. I was a little glassy, huh? See these nacho cheese Dorito chips? Kind of want these, don't you? They know the telltale signs. I never was involved in any of that.
Barry, I knew a guy back in the day, high school.
Yeah.
And not to condone it, I'm on mine.
No, we are
all the
not.
time.
Yeah.
But might have had a beer or two or three. Every night he would go home, he would eat about a half a bag of nacho cheese Doritos. So when he got home, there would be no evidence or smell of beer on his breath, because that nacho cheese Dorito is going to mask anything you could have had.
Yeah.
Think about it. You eat a couple of nacho cheese Doritos, you're thinking about 10 minutes later, you're going, I still got that nacho.
That actually makes some sense. Now that guy's probably about 320 pounds right now. But my Jack, my son, who's 32, he, he's a law enforcement officer, and he doesn't tell specifics about some of the traffic stops he has.
Ooh.
But there are some of the people out there that are absolutely sure. What me? No, that they're acting cool.
Yeah.
Their speech isn't slurred. They're totally in control. And again, not condoning it at all, because it's a terrible thing. But they're thinking they're getting over on the cop. No, officer, I've been sober for 8.5 months, and they're thinking, I got this, and they're falling all over themselves. And you see those kind of dash cam things all over social media nowadays.
Couldn't imagine. They used to have a little thing where you could ride along with the police as a community service or something. I think I'd like to do that.
I would too. I told Jack that before, but I think the only person in my entire extended family who's busier than me and D is Jack. He's working all the time, it feels like, but I wouldn't mind doing that.
Yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool.
Now,
kind of cool.
If there were some big 100 and something mile an hour chase. I said, okay, can you let me off real quick? I'll jump out, okay?
Yeah.
Because I ain't down with that. But, just watching, them questioning people or anything like that would be all right. I'd like that.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. Now I would now, like, if some gunfire erupted or something got out of hand, I'm thinking, whoa, hold on now.
No.
I don't want to be a part of that, but just I'd like to see some of these guys or ladies with some of the excuses that they give.
Yeah.
I had a good one going to a golf tournament in Tuscaloosa. It was in the morning hours. I was heading up to Tuscaloosa on 82 after our show for an event Gene Stallings was hosting. And I might have been a little late, and I was trying to make up some time. I'm going down that big hill in Autauga County.
Oh, they love that hill.
Yeah.
They love that hill. And well, they should.
Extra speed, and this state trooper's coming the other way. He lit those lights up, U-turned, and pulled me over, and we started talking, and I told him what I was doing and where I was going. He said, "Oh, I know. I listen to you guys every day." And I went, "Oh, I'm in. I'm out." Yeah. Perfect.
Oh, are you really?
Beautiful.
Oh, really? Oh, well, that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, officer, for supporting us on our program.
I'm thinking, no way this guy's writing me
tickets
up.
to the ball?
Yeah. I mean, no way this guy's writing me up.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, he comes back after running my license. I'm thinking, wait a minute, you know who I am. I didn't tell him that, but he comes back.
Yeah,
says, well,
he said this to himself.
Yeah. And he comes back and says, well, I'm going to let you go on that speeding because I know you're in a hurry, but I'm going to have to write you up for an expired driver's license.
Oh, I remember that story now.
And I'm thinking, boom, I thought, here we go. I got a response to that. Well, officer, I so rarely am pulled over. I just don't have to take my license out of my wallet very often. So I did not check to see when the expiration date was. Plus, do they not send a notice in the mail to tell you it's time to renew?
See, that's, John told that story, and my initial response is it their responsibility to make sure that you are a properly licensed driver? Wait a minute, officer. Nobody told me.
So I got to go to the Autauga County Courthouse after I get my new license.
Which is also a little bit of a tribulation, yes.
Yeah, to show the judge I have gotten a new license. I have to skip a day of work. I got to go through every guy that hadn't paid child support, alimony, you name it. I'm going through all these guys till they get to me, and it takes less than a minute. And I'm thinking, I wasted all this time for that. I will never have my driver's license expire again on me as well. Josh Harris is going to join us here in just a second. He's on a big conference call, probably with some Canadians or something like that. You never know. He'll join us here in just a moment. But
what that tells you is, number one, always obey the speed laws. Number two, always keep your driver's license, your insurance updated and stuff. Because that happened to me. Well, I say it happened to Dee one time where she was driving to work and she got pulled over because I had forgotten to put the sticker on her license plate. Yeah. And she's the sweetest girl in the world, but she gave me the stink eye about that one right there. Cause that's, that was my responsibility. And he didn't light her up or anything, but
I want to know, I'm curious, Barry, as you're going down the interstate these days, how do these state troopers pull these people over? I never see them on the side of the road anymore. Every now and then I see them driving down the road, but when I see one pulling a guy over, I'm thinking, what was this guy doing? Because I've already had 100 people pass me going 85. So what did they do that needed to be pulled over? And then where'd this guy come from? I mean, didn't even see him. I don't know. I mean, maybe I should be looking closer. I mean, I usually abide the speed limit. I might fudge a little bit and go over just a hair.
Yeah. On the downslope of a hill on 82. And, who's to say you get a little momentum going and it may sneak away from
Yeah,
you
it
whenever
can.
you've got your stereo blasting Thunder Island from Jay Ferguson and you're
Ah,
rocking out and you're not paying attention to that little needle there? Come
it
on.
was Jay Ferguson's 78th birthday over the weekend, Barry. I heard that on Yacht Rock. And that was a good pull with Shakedown Cruise. He didn't get enough run for that song, I don't think. That song's pretty good.
Yeah.
But Thunder Island seems to be his marquee hit. He was in a band. I never knew this. There was the guy talked a lot about Jay Ferguson stuff I didn't know. He was in a band called Spirit. Never heard of it.
No, never did either. That's an airline.
And then if you want to call it that. Hey, I see Josh Harris is in the green room there. I don't know if he's hooked up with us there. Maybe just audio today. I'm not real sure. Josh, are you there with us?
Today, I figured I wouldn't try to drive and get myself on camera again like I did in Canada.
Yeah.
That just didn't work out well. My dad watched the show and he's like, if you ever do that again, he's like, I don't usually tell you what to do anymore. You're 33 years old, but if you try and FaceTime and drive again, I'm gonna give you a whooping like I did when you were in high school.
That's we were just talking about driving safety right there. I wonder what would happen if all of a sudden, the state trooper comes over on the shoulder of the road and he walks up and it's Josh saying, "Hey, I'm on a call with Longshore and McKnight, hey, wave to John." And he says, John, how you doing? Hey, good to see you again.
What are Canadian state troopers called? Mounties?
Mounties. I'm outside of Georgia now, so these are a lot scarier than the Mounties.
Yeah.
So I was driving on the way. This was in college, and I was driving up to Atlanta, flying to Dallas for a game. And I've got an Alabama hat on. I'm going, over 100 on the interstate, trying to get to Atlanta. I'm so excited. I'm dancing, ready for the game, ready to get on the flight. I get pulled over. The cop goes, "Son, why are you going so fast? Like, what are you doing?" And I said, "Officer, I'm just really excited. I'm trying to, go to the Alabama game, and, I'll slow down. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." And he comes back. He goes back to the car. You see the lights on. You're like, just come on, warning. He comes back. He said, "Mr. Harris, slow down. Roll Tide." What? I was like, let's go. I was just like an ESPN commercial.
Yeah.
So
that was a good omen. There you're thinking, man, we're gonna blow this team out today.
Now to hedge your bets, you're gonna have people that are going to have in the back window, they're going to have an Alabama sticker, an Auburn sticker, a Vanderbilt sticker, a Georgia sticker, and all that. And oh man,
that's a good.
If that guy had been an Auburn fan, you'd have been a lot lighter financially.
Right. Well, you had to do something. You had to, and it was honestly, coming from Montgomery up to Atlanta, the odds of him being an Auburn fan are pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good, I would say.
You can still smell it when you're driving there.
Obviously, you were not within Atlanta proper because you mentioned something about going 100. Doesn't everybody go 100 in Atlanta?
Yes, but then they also are on motorcycles and three-wheeled cars, and but I'm used to it now. It's I just drive in the right lane, like I'm about 80 years old, going 55, just waving at everybody.
There you go. There you go. Arriving alive. Well, Speaking of Atlanta, it resonated very much a month ago when you said, despite the 0-7 start, you still believe that the Braves are going to make the postseason. As our buddy Robbie from Greenville pointed out, since that 0-7 start, Braves are 5 games over 500. You still feel strong about that viewpoint there, Josh?
Absolutely. And we're just got to hang on till we get Ronald Acuna back.
That's what Robbie was
I'm a delusional, brainwashed Braves fan. I'm never going to quit believing.
Okay.
We were at home watching the Wolves game, Wolves versus the Warriors.
Yeah.
And I hadn't been betting a lot. I had Wolves minus 5.5 sitting there watching the game. They're up 8. My little brother had him live minus 1.5, and we're walking. So he's happy already. He doesn't pull for my bet. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
happy.
of course not.
Of
Oh,
course
heck
not.
no.
He's sitting
Yeah.
there. I'm like, Ben, I got 5.5. He's like, oh, you're fine. They
Yeah.
dribble down the court, miss it, get the rebound, shoot a corner three to get it to 5. And there's
Ooh.
6 seconds left.
Ooh.
And you're in the playoffs and they don't foul.
Ooh.
What are you doing?
What
Yeah.
are you doing? What are you doing?
Hey, the Phantom knows the feeling. The Phantom's had some of those type endings as well. I feel your pain on that one. Do you see a difference in, I don't know how much regular season NBA you might check out, but do you see a difference in postseason play compared to regular season play in the NBA?
100%. I mean, I don't even watch the regular season for the most part. I mean, postseason basketball's and it might be the best postseason there is. Just it can you get NBA and you get March Madness. I mean, I think it's better than playoff football in the NFL, which is kind of a crazy thing to say.
No kidding.
But and then you got March Madness, which is, in my opinion, the best sporting event there is.
You know, I think one of the games yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, Jay Billis was doing the color for that game. Of course, you know, does a lot of college stuff. It sounded just like him. I didn't see him, but it certainly sounded like him. I want to look into that to see if that actually was Jay Billis doing that game yesterday. But I'm with you. I think it's a different game, a different excitement level. I like the physical nature of it, and it's getting interesting. I think Cleveland fans are pretty shocked at this point what the Pacers have been able to do against them.
Yeah, I think I got a couple Cleveland friends that I work with, and I think they were shocked to be as good as they were right now. I think they're shocked that the Pacers are getting them, but they're just mind. I was talking to one the other day. I'm like, how did y'all get to this point? They don't have like that giant superstar like they usually do, but it's like we were talking about. Who is the next guy? Who's the next guy? Who do we get? I still think it's Anthony Edwards.
I do too.
I just think he's unbelievable. I think
in that game you were talking about with you and your brother, the plus 5.5, Edwards had 36 in that game, and he could have had as many as he wanted to. He's something.
That dunk he had.
Yeah.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. Drove down the middle, jump from almost the free throw line.
Yeah.
We got to get these guys to start we're giving all this money to college basketball, to college sports. Let's give some money to the slam dunk competition and get these guys enough money so that we get these all-stars like Anthony Edwards, or if LeBron would have done it, get them back in the slam dunk competition. That would be so incredible.
I remember a few years back, I was doing broadcasting a Troy basketball game against Texas Tech, and Texas Tech had this white kid named Mac McClung.
Yep.
And he was good. I mean, he wasn't great, but he was good. Mac McClung has won the slam dunk competition like 3 years, you know?
And I'm pretty sure he's in the G League.
Yeah. I mean, Mac McClung, can we get something? And he's phenomenal. He's a phenomenal dunker. But can we get somebody with put a little more coin on this thing and get some dudes out there, get an Anthony Edwards instead of a Mac McClung in the slam dunk competition?
Yeah, I remember what happened to the days with Spud Webb and those guys. I mean,
Dominique and
man,
I'll even take Nate Robinson.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. Yeah.
So the PGA is this weekend at Quail Hollow. Up in Charlotte. It's actually a location that hosts a regular event, but they're hosting the PGA Championship here. Second major of the year. JT had a pretty good run at the Truist last week, or last weekend yesterday, tied for second place. What about JT winning the PGA again? Can the former Tide golfer put it together?
Let's keep the momentum going. He's a streaky golfer. When he's playing good, he's playing good. So let's keep it going. I would love that. Because I heard someone saying, I was at that wedding, they were talking about how JT really wasn't all that and this and that. And, he's been struggling. I'm like, he's not struggling. He's just, that's how golf is now. But he needs that next major. I mean, he needs that next major. Let's get him back on the map.
Yeah,
So
I'm with. I'd like for I'll take any major I can get. I'd like to see him win something other than the PGA. Obviously a green jacket, a U.S. Open title would really, I hate to dump on the PGA. I know it's a great event, and the people that put it on probably don't want to hear it, but to me, the PGA definitely is down there in the fourth position of majors in terms of, I don't know, prestige, cachet. Yeah, cachet. And Shoal Creek hosted the PGA twice. That's great. But, hey, I'd take the PGA. They got the biggest trophy of any of the four majors. But I just like to see JD win something other than the PGA.
I agree. I think it's number 4. I think that's a fair point. I'm not arguing with you there. But I'd also like to see him win that PGA Championship. I get to go to that every year in Atlanta. That's always a great event.
Oh, the FedEx at the end, the Tour
FedEx Cup, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So, that's awesome.
But I'd like to see him. My biggest gripe with it is that, let's get the starting with minus 12 out of there. It just makes it, you can just run away with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the whole point. You get points added up to it, but I don't know. I can't get behind that. It drives me crazy.
I've been wanting to ask you, as you are dubbed the Moneyline magician, what obviously football takes the bulk of that with most people, and I'm sure it does with you as well. But when we get into the NBA playoffs, then we roll into Major League Baseball through the summer, maybe a little UFL playoff action. What are you looking for in particular? Is there a particular sport or just a particular number that grabs your attention?
I mean, I'm going to tell you what I really start doing is I start betting on foreign basketball, like Japanese basketball. I'm just playing.
I was about to say, we might need to get that toll-free number up on the screen.
Japanese basketball.
No, I don't. Once basketball, playoff basketball is great. I like a live line during basketball because you can kind of watch it and feel how it's going. You can find some crazy money lines there. But once baseball season starts, it's golf. It's just all golf.
Yeah,
pretty much. I don't know what to do with baseball. I mean, it's just so. I'll talk to my friends that are, experts. You got the people that watch it every single day, day in and day out.
Right.
So they'll give me some picks or something on some starters every once in a while. But baseball season is the off season for me. It's where I recover financially and
true.
And spend time with the family and
all that stuff. See the wife and kids.
You get your little pot ready for the fall.
I remember there was a buddy of mine who played. He played professional basketball in Europe, like Lebanon and Israel and stuff like that. And he said in Israel, you got, some of those guys that show up and, they're played in like fairly okay. They'd be like large high school gyms in the United States. And you'd always have those Israelis over in the corner that are chain smoking, got the huge, boiler and all that kind of stuff. And man, they're sitting there talking with each other and they're changing money back and forth. And it's like Zagreb versus Tel Aviv. And those guys are taking it like it's game 7 of the NBA finals and stuff. He said, he said, that's the only reason why those leagues exist in Hungary and Finland and Israel and all that kind of stuff is because of those European bettors out there.
That sounds like a good little European backpacking trip.
Yeah, no kidding. That's a good way to spend the summer and get your bankroll ready for the fall, no doubt. And man, our buddy Range Pro, he loves betting that PGA Tour. He's big on that. He's really he says local man won't answer his phone calls anymore. He's been killing it betting on the PGA, Josh. So yeah, I might have to look into that myself.
Yeah, tell me the picks. Let me know.
I'll send them your way.
Yeah, my man, Range Pro.
All right, next week maybe we can get you on a video part of the chat, unless you're in Canada or where else you may be.
Because let's be frank, that is the main attraction of having the Moneyline magician on.
Yeah,
right.
Is the video viewpoint? All of our female listeners are like, come on.
Right.
What are you guys doing?
A face built for radio.
No,
Hey,
no.
we've heard that before. I can
Yeah,
promise
believe
you
me, we have.
Right,
this duo's
right,
heard
right.
that one before. Hey, Josh, have a great week, my man. Always appreciate your time. A lot of fun. We'll do it next week.
See y'all.
Appreciate
All
you.
right, buddy. Thank you, man. The Moneyline magician. Yeah, I'm telling you, Range Pro's killing it against the tour.
He'll come up. He'll pop on every now and again. He ain't going Ricky Fowler, everybody. He'll come up with Morikawa or he'll come up with somebody else. And I'm thinking, I have no idea how he's arriving at these things. I mean, do you do research? I mean, so-and-so, his putts per 18 is one of the lowest on the tour. I mean, do you crunch the numbers on that, or is it like John's putting? Is it just feel?
I believe Range Pro crunches the numbers. He's on top of this. He follows it closely. Was probably a good way to do it. All right. Yeah. When we come back, we will go through the Phantom's Daily Dog. Kyle George is going to join us from Troy to tell us about what's going on with the Trojans.
A lot happening as well. He will join us in just a moment in association with Yellowhammer News. It's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Hey, Marianne is joining me from Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry in Pepper Tree on Vaughn Road. And Marianne, the month of May is here. So many great things going on. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that it's May already. So many exciting things. We've got Mother's Day, graduations, weddings, showers, you name it. In May, we've got it. It's a jam-packed holiday-filled month, and we are ready to go to help you at Marguerite's because it is Earring Fest coupled with the rest of that. So what better way to help celebrate the lady in your life or the person in your life than beautiful earrings? Because, earrings, you don't have to worry about what size. They all fit.
They do all fit. You're right about that. With Mother's Day fast approaching, Earring Fest would be a great way to show Mom how much you appreciate her and love her, and so many different earring styles to choose from. Graduation gifts for the high school and college graduate as well. May seems to be a month that people like to pop the question as well. So you got that going on. And we can't forget, Marianne, Birthstone Emerald. I think I'm right on that for May.
Great job. Yes. I almost forgot. How dare I? Yes. Well played there, sir. It is emerald. So beautiful gemstone, lots of beautiful hues of green. We've got them in store at Marguerite's. Earrings, necklaces, rings, you've got it. So for all the May babies out there, you've got a great birthstone. Make sure that the person you love knows that you love those beautiful green emeralds.
Well, we know Marguerite's is open 7 days a week. Tell us where you're located and your hours of operation.
Sure. We're at 8163 Vaughn Road in the Pepper Tree Shopping Center, 7 days a week, 10 to 5:30 Monday through Friday, 10 to 5 on Saturday, and noon to 5 on Sunday.
May is going to be fantastic at Marguerite's. Make sure you go by and see them. Thank you so much, Marianne.
Thanks.
Okay, we're back at it. A couple of minutes to the bottom of the hour. We're not going to, skip around and hee-haw and beat around the bush, Barry. We're going to go right to it. It's been a tough little skid for the Phantom. After covering 8 straight, we're on a little 2-game skid. It is what it is. Not happy about it, but it is what it is.
2 games?
2-game skid.
Some people who are in the Madison Avenue business, they would say, hey, Phantom's 8 out of 10,
Yep. So you're right. 80% out of the last 10. That's a good point. Lost on Thursday, had a game on Saturday. It didn't come through for us either. But you know what? It's a new day. We got to press on. And that's what we're doing. And
nobody cares about yesterday.
Yesterday's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I think Foreigner had a song a lot with that lyric in it.
Great one.
We got 2 games in the association tonight. One's at 6:30 at Madison Square Garden. The other one's at 9, wherever the Golden State Warriors play. I'm not real sure where that is, but
at Oracle Arena in San Francisco.
That's right.
Yeah,
I think both on ESPN tonight. Going to be a great NBA doubleheader. The New York Knicks, Barry, are leading this series in the Eastern Conference East semifinals. They're up 2-1. I think Boston's a little surprised by that. The West semifinal, one of them, Minnesota is up 2-1 against Golden State. Both these teams are home dogs tonight. Home dogs.
Yeah.
But we like the New York Knicks plus 6.5 tonight, hosting the Boston Celtics. Tickets starting as low as $523, Barry, for that game.
You going to Ticketmaster or tickets for less or something?
Something like that. The tomorrow night's Indiana at Cleveland game, tickets as low as $36.
What?
Obviously, tickets are in high demand in the Big Apple.
Okay.
I like seeing that. See, that's information I can use to my advantage. Ooh.
Again, just to document, the Celtics
laying 6.5. I'm taking the 6.5 in the New York Knicks, a home underdog, catching 6.5 at the Garden. I've got them. 6:30 ESPN tonight. So we're going to get back on our winning ways with that one.
The Phantoms daily dog at this time every day during the week, trying to break a 2-game losing streak. Yeah. Kyle George is a great friend of the program, has been for years. He's the Senior Associate Athletics Director in terms of external relations at Troy University, and he joins us now on our City of Montgomery guest hotline. Kyle, good morning. How are things?
Good morning. Doing good, gentlemen. How are you guys doing?
Doing really
great.
well.
Man, loving that sport coat you got on. That thing looks awesome.
Appreciate it.
Like that. Yeah.
Trying to look sharp for this morning.
Update us a little bit because we've been talking off and on over the last week. Troy men's golf playing in the NCAA regional up in Illinois. That starts today. What's the weather look like? Have you been keeping tabs?
Well, fortunately, at least the weather stopped here in Troy. Now, I haven't had a chance to keep up with it so much up in Champaign, Illinois, see how the guys are doing. But I think they should be okay is what things are looking like for us today.
Okay.
The guys are entering the tournament as the number 9 seed in that region, also the highest in program history. So Coach Clay Bounds and his program have gotten off to a fantastic season this year, really getting some ground when it came to their their spring season in particular. They're ranked 51st in the country right now. So they feel really confident going into this regional. The top 5 teams from that regional will advance to the national championship, and hopefully our guys are in that number.
You know, it's been a year like that with so many different things. Men's basketball, women's basketball, baseball, men's golf, tennis has done really, really well and all that. As we come to the close of an academic year and finals are going on as we speak at Troy University, speak to just overall the level of success that athletics has been enjoying this year, Kyle.
You look at our spring seasons in particular, all of these teams have been just absolutely on fire. And that's really been great for us to see. Like we had a real strong feeling that men's, women's basketball, baseball, softball, golf, all those teams are really going to have a chance to succeed and go farther. You even look at men's and women's tennis. Both of those teams made it to the semifinals of the Sun Belt Conference tournaments this year as well, too. So really winning across the board. We had 5 podium finishes for our track and field program over the weekend up in Harrisonburg, Virginia, when it came to Sun Belt Conference championships there as well, too. So a lot of great things taking place. Troy baseball is the only team in the entire country, the only one to win all 13 weekend series this year. Big series coming up because Southern Miss has gone 12-1 in weekend series this year, and we're taking on those guys this upcoming Thursday, Friday, Saturday at Real Pace Field. Chance for the number 2 seed in the Sun Belt Conference will be on display this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, bear in mind that does start early. Kyle's right. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because it's the final weekend of the regular season in Sun Belt play. Quite a few promotions involved in that big weekend series against the Golden Eagles, Kyle.
Well, hearing John talk about tickets starting at $500 in the Big Apple, how about I knock a few zeros off? I'm going to start tickets at $5 for you for seeing 2 of the best teams in the country. We want to pack the stands. It's a great opportunity, like you said, Barry, starting a little bit early this week because of the Sun Belt Conference tournament taking place next week in Montgomery. So Thursday at 6, Friday at 6, Saturday at 3:33 p.m., $5 GA tickets, $10 home plate tickets, $15 field level tickets. Even better, because, I see that logo behind John, and, we like to make beer a little bit cheaper than water here in Troy as it is. $2 draft beer on Thursday and on Friday. So you got
$2.
Thursday and Friday both. It's a Thirsty Thursday, $2 beer. Plus, we have our World of Beer promotion. So craft beer, if you purchase a craft beer, if you're one of the first 50 fans to do so, you'll receive a Troy branded beer bat as well too to go with that beer purchase. So fans 21 and up, a lot of great things there for you. Tank top giveaways on Thursday, T-shirt giveaways on Friday, and we also have our Fuel of Dreams promotion on Saturday. So
this is cool.
Kids,
yeah,
I got a lot of text messages about it yesterday. People saying, "Hey, how do I get my kids signed up for this part?" On Saturday, all kids, as long as you buy it in advance, I say buy, free admission if you use promo code FOD for Field of Dreams. So go to troytrojans.com/promo. The first 100 kids to sign up will get a free ticket to the game. Their parents can buy a $5 ticket, and we're going to have a mini wooden bat provided by Troy Athletics and the Vance Law Firm for all of those kids. The other part of that is after the game on Saturday, all those kids get a chance to come down to the field and take place in our Field of Dreams. 3 swings for each kid for the home run derby, get a chance to take pictures of the players and all that. So we want to make it a fun atmosphere for all families to come out, enjoy great baseball at a great rate. You're not going to break the bank. You won't spend $500 total when you come see us here. So we'll make sure it's fun for all families to come out and not take out a second mortgage to get a chance to see the Trojans in action.
All right, the 3 swings, how does that work? Is it like sitting on a tee, or is somebody actually pitching the ball? Because I had a minor league pitcher throw me some pitches one day.
I remember doing 10.
I think I caught maybe a piece of it, maybe. Yeah, I mean, somebody just throwing snow cones up there. How's that work?
We'll be flexible, make it easy. You know, I'll have my own 3-year-old kid up there. His 3 swings are going to be pretty easy and ready to go.
Sure.
But some of those 12-year-olds, they're going to be aiming for the fences there as well, too.
Yeah.
So we're going to make it fun for kids of all ages. The good thing is post-game, we're not in a rush. Kids can take as long as they want, and we want to make sure everybody has a great time coming to the ballpark this weekend.
Yeah, and it's a big, big series, 3 games against Southern Miss, and Kyle's already talked about the baseball aspect of it. You know, Southern Miss is 12-1 in their series, Troy 13-0 in their series. It really should be high-quality baseball for those hardcore baseball fans themselves as well, Kyle.
It certainly will. And, you know, this time of year, whether it be for seeding for the Sun Belt tournament or looking ahead to the NCAA postseason, both of these teams in terms of Troy and Southern Miss, we're squarely in the mix, not just in terms of conversations about making the tournament. We're talking also about teams that have a chance to possibly host a regional this year. So we send that for Troy. We are 38-16 right now. 37-18. Apologize, I might have my dates, my times wrong there for it. But both of these teams are squarely in the mix of those postseason conversations about either team going on a run here to close out the season. You've got a chance to possibly host an NCAA regional in your own backyard.
Somebody asked me about this just a moment ago when you were talking about, you know, the kids and the Field of Dreams Day on Saturday after the game when the regular season comes to a close. This summertime is also camp season as well, and I've encouraged everybody, if they're interested. I know the volleyball camps are going on. Jared Parker has his football camps, including not just prospect camps, but also skills camps for youngsters as well. The basketball camps with the Sun Belt champion men's team and Chanda Rigby's women's team. Those things are always going on, Kyle, and the website's a good way to kind of access all of those as well. It's going to be a busy summer, and for the kids, Troy Athletics is going to be giving them a lot of stuff that they can be involved in.
Oh, absolutely. You're right. When the month of June hits here for us, there are camps galore. So there's tons of things for all the kids to get a chance to be a part of there. And like you said, it's not just prospect camps, it's the actual kid camps as well, too, which those are the fun ones for our student athletes to be a part of there. Our student athletes, our coaches, they're the ones helping to put these camps on. So those are some of the great memories. You know, I look back when I was a kid, those are things I love being a part of there. And part of why I wanted to do what I do now is getting a chance to be a part of camps like that. So the information can all be found online between troytrojans.com, but also visiting the social media accounts for volleyball, soccer, basketball, etc. All those sports are promoting all those events, and it'll be the coaches and student athletes helping to put on each of those events as well.
Well, when it gets later on into the summer, we're gonna ask that we have you back, because we're also going to be getting, for the grown-ups, the women's football clinic date is set. The drawdown, the men's football kickoff party is set as well. Those dates, the Trojan Tour, and all of that as well. So it's going to be a busy summer once the academic and athletic year is over with as well. We've got to get you on to talk about some of those when they come close, Kyle.
Oh, absolutely. It never slows down, and Trojan Tour starts on Monday next week, so we're a week away from kicking it off between Ozark and Troy on Monday. So a lot of things coming up here for us.
Kyle, I don't know if we'll speak to you before next weekend, not this, but next. But the Alabama Special Olympics will be holding their statewide competition in Troy yet again. We'll have our opening ceremonies there at Trojan Arena on Friday night. Certainly looking forward to that, and greatly appreciate Troy being such a great host for this event. Our athletes love it. And as always, if you're in the Troy area and want to help volunteer, we're always looking for more if you're there in the Troy area during that weekend. But a lot of excitement building about the competition there down in Troy, not this weekend, but next for the state games.
Oh, absolutely. We're very excited about it. It's always one of the highlights of this entire year when it comes to Troy University, getting a chance to host the state games for Special Olympics. We had the Pike County Special Olympic Games a couple weeks ago.
Right.
Miracle League will wrap up their season tonight here at Riddle Pace Field for their final game of the season as well, too. So we're lucky that we get a chance to be a part of events like that. It reminds you of why we want to be in sports in the first place, and sports brings us all together. So really glad that we get a chance to be a small part of that.
One quick note of what John's talking about. If you do want to volunteer, again, the state games at Troy, May 23rd and 24th. If you want to volunteer, you can volunteer through Troy. Just email specialolympics@troy.edu. And I want to give you a quick number, 334-670-3203. If you want to volunteer, and John has been involved in that intrinsically for many, many years. John, the volunteers will get a lot more out of it than they even imagine.
You better believe it. It'll be a great weekend in all aspects.
Kyle George, the Senior Associate Athletics Director for External Relations, Troy University. Always great, always exciting. Thanks so much for the time.
Thanks so much, gentlemen. Go Trojans.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much, Kyle George of Troy, Associate AD there, joining us today. So, Barry, the tank top giveaway.
Yes.
A suggestion.
Okay.
The tank top should only go to the ladies that attend, and make sure you give them a tank top a little smaller than the size they're requesting. I'm saying. I'm going to leave it at that.
Well, the issue sometimes is I've got buddies who absolutely, guys are going to want those tank tops. And they're the tank tops with T-Roy on them and a baseball motif. I haven't seen them, but it's something like, T-Roy swinging a bat or T-Roy throwing a pitch or something like that. The tank top giveaway is on Thursday. The T-shirt giveaway is on Friday. Guys, go to all of them if you can.
Sure.
But I'm feeling Friday for the guys on the T-shirt because some of those old boys who come out there, tank tops, for you, those days are over. Those days are a bygone era for many of you guys.
And I don't want this to come out the wrong way, but to me, a tank top giveaway is more appropriate for another school. Seems like that's what they'd be giving away. The guys would be flocking to get them.
Yeah.
I would think. Huh.
The Thursday, tank tops, a Troy branded beer bat to a limited number.
I like that. I like
Friday,
the beer bat.
By the way, it's $2 drafts, and
heck yeah,
a lot of the draft beer, highly popular, is John's sign back behind there.
Sure. You better believe it. Ice cold Bud Light on tap.
Again, TroyTrojans.com is how you get involved and find out more about all of the different promotions for the final home series against Southern Miss at Riddle Pace Field. It comes up beginning on Thursday at 6:00 in Troy.
All right. When we come back, I know the Victoryland Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel is ready to go, locked and loaded. I do have to point out something that Philip had in his column yesterday that once again, he is spot on. And I want to bring it up when we return before we go to the Gurn Jr. 777 Victoryland 777 topic wheel.
So if this goes according to script, this may be a little bit lengthy. So we better cut out and take a break right now. 16 before the hour. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. In association with Yellowhammer News, it's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Ford announces employee pricing on every new 24 and most new 25 Fords, and only at Stivers Ford in Montgomery, up to $5,000 below employee pricing, plus no payments for 90 days. From America, for America, at Stivers Ford in Montgomery, home of America's best-selling truck for nearly 50 years in a row, the F-150, with hundreds to choose from. The Ford Escape, the Ford Edge, and the Ford Bronco, all priced at thousands below invoice. And pack up the crew in a Ford Expedition or a Ford Explorer for the beach, the lake, or the big game. It's all at Stivers Ford in Montgomery, where price sells cars.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Bush. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Bush Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Don't miss your chance to win big at Victoryland Casino. Play the latest, hottest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. Don't miss out on your free play. Stop by Player Rewards today and check out this month's exciting free play promotions. Come see why our players keep coming back. You'll have more fun at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, located off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. Must be
Okay, back at it here on this Monday. Before we get to the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic, Will, I just wanted to point this out. In Phillips' Sunday Reflections from Auburn and Beyond column yesterday,
All right.
a potpourri of topics were touched on.
Yeah.
But I love it, Barry.
He missed some time. This was difficult for John because evidently he had missed some time. I have been away for a couple of days taking care of some personal business and just getting away from the daily grind. I don't think he realizes how difficult that is. Philip, next time you do that, please just write it in one of your columns so John won't fret. John's going to the golly. He missed another one. What's wrong? Is he okay? Is he still with us?
I wish sometimes he'll let us know before he goes on a cruise.
Yeah, with the warden.
Wherever.
Yeah.
Or where, I bet she loves that. Or wherever they go, but just do it and not let me know. I get a little concerned. But anyway,
he's Googling the switchboard number to Auburn Undercover. Hey, guys, is he okay?
Everything good? But here's where he always can grab me. He knows how he can hook me in. When he talks to 4 former coaches and 2 active ones. Now, of course, this is all, off the record, so to speak, I guess, because no names are used. And they touch on a lot of different subjects about college athletics today. But this one really caught my attention.
I did read that. What could it be?
Because we have touched on this a lot as well. And I don't think athletic directors like hearing this or knowing that there are open discussions about it. They know about it. They're fully aware of it. But Philip says in talking to 4 former coaches and 2 active coaches, the consensus is they fear for the futures of the games they coached or are coaching. They worry that most college athletes are being sold a bill of goods and will one day find out the hard way. None of them have a problem with players making money, but they fret that the transactional nature of the times will lead to less and less enthusiasm from fans. I think so too. I wonder about that. Are fans going to get to a point where, it just doesn't excite me I don't get as jacked up about it as I used to.
They also say this, and this is important in relation to that. Philip actually did a good job about that. He did say, and again, this is important in contrast to what John just read. Philip says they believe the games are played better and coached better than they ever have been. And that's an important contrast, John, because the actual quality of the football, what's going on the football field, has never been better. But, and John has brought this up before, that's only one of the attractive things about college football to fans. Is, man, that is great football. I have never seen us play better than it. It's more than that. It's the identification with the team. It's the feeling that, you know, whenever I was roaming these halls of academia, it meant so much to me to be here at Auburn or Alabama or Troy or Georgia or whatever. I really felt a part of a community. Nowadays, they don't feel like those players are really invested in being a student at their school as much as they were. And, you know, they don't feel like they're a part of that community, that Auburn family or that Alabama community or the Troy Nation or anything like that, like they used to be. They're just here for a couple of semesters maybe, and then we'll move on with a whole bunch of cash in their pocket. And people are not relating to that.
They're not.
Very well.
They're not at all. And when they brought up this, and I think maybe in Georgia they're doing it about not charging income tax on NIL payments or something. Something like that was brought up here in Alabama. People ain't
that is
buying
being
that.
brought up in Alabama. That is being, as a matter of
me,
fact,
though,
later
Barry,
on,
I
we'll
think-
talk with one of the legislators about
I
that.
think the fan base is going to go, whoa, wait a minute. I'm paying tax. Why shouldn't they? Look, I know they're looking for every advantage they can get, but I'm not sure that's one that the masses
supports.
Are going to love knowing that they got to do it. I tell you what, the masses would support regulated sports wagering. That's what the masses would support if we could just get it up for let the people vote on it. But I'm not getting on that tangent again.
Now that obligatory take is over with, we can move on. Coming up, the fabled, often imitated, never duplicated Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel. I believe we've got 4 to hit on before the top of the hour.
I think we do. Well, why do you say we spin it and see what's going on?
Here we go. Here we go.
0.4
seconds.
Another hockey. Love it.
Wilson trying to center off the Skinner. Waiting. Whitley Smith shoots and then stayed out at the horn. Smith is screaming. He thought it. Put it underneath the bar.
Vegas, the Golden Knights.
Unbelievable. This looked like it might have gone in.
How about a replay?
This might be in. Vegas celebrating as if it is not only in, but will count.
Yes. Game 3.
With the
winner.
ice official, the call on the ice is a goal, but the play is under review.
All right. And they reviewed it.
Yep.
And the Golden Knights get credit for it. Game 3 against the Oilers, they win the game with 0.4 seconds to go.
I got a hockey question for you.
All right.
Does the puck have to hit the back of the net or just cross the line?
Just has to cross the line.
Okay.
Yep.
So
that's got to stink. Less than a second to go.
How many goals before replay in the history of the NHL do you think possibly crossed the line, but the goalie was able to get his stick back there and slip it out real quick before the official could see it?
Oh, a jillion.
Yeah.
A jillion. I mean, you know, back in the olden days when, goalies played without masks,
Bobby Orr.
Every player every NHL player that you saw back in like the 70s and the 60s, anytime they'd smile at you, every one of them was missing their front teeth. Back in those days, they didn't have any replay. Heck, most of them weren't televised and all that. I bet that kind of stuff happened all the time.
I would think so.
Very nice one. Very nice.
All right. That's a good one. All right, let's see what else we got on the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel. Exit 22 off I-85, Shorter, Alabama, open 24/7. Hard hit. This could be a this. I said this could
Is this
be an
another
NBA
hockey?
game. Oh yeah,
Go Gurn.
We're killing it in hockey. Oh, look,
I like it.
Oh yeah, this is. Oh, look at this. This is awesome. Look at the ref over there. He ain't doing any good. Get out of the way, ref.
No, see, the refs, they'll hang back until somebody hits the ice. You know, they can sit up there and they can push and shove and, you know, throw these haymakers. But the first time somebody
this guy's laughing.
Who is this, Gurn? I'm trying to pick out the
Toronto and
the
Florida.
Panthers. Yeah, I got you.
Is it the Argonauts? What is Toronto's?
It's the Maple Leafs.
Maple Leafs. Oh, my bad. The Argonauts are the football team.
Yeah.
I would have to think, Barry, NHL officials have hazard pay.
I ain't getting involved. Those guys are big guys, 220, 230 pounds. Everybody's on skates, so, you know, nobody's got super firm footing anyway. That's the reason why they just kind of most of the time, they kind of let them do it out until somebody hits the deck. Then they'll come and they'll cover and say, okay, enough.
Yeah, seen enough of this.
Yeah.
Move on. Yeah, wow, that's tough. That's a tough one.
All right.
Yeah, good two hockeys like that. All right, let's spin it again. Two more topics to go here. You can be a winner, too, at Victoryland. In Shorter, 7 and 30. Wait a minute. Gene Chiswick was 5 and 19.
5 and 19. Very famous. Yeah.
7:30. Uh-oh.
Yeah. This is Scapegoat City.
Yeah.
Rockies manager Bud Black is fired from the Rockies managerial job after his club starts 7 and 33. Now, he has been there quite a while now. But he gets fired right now. It ain't his fault. No. I mean, he ain't no miracle worker out there. It is not his fault that they are 7 and 33. He's a pretty good manager, but they stink. I mean, some of their players, that team would barely be competitive in AAA baseball right now. So, yeah. He was the 5th longest tenured active manager in Major League Baseball before he was fired on Sunday. He had been the manager of the Rockies since 2016, but this year is when he gets fired because of the team. It ain't him. It's because of the team.
No.
The most longest tenured manager in the major leagues is Kevin Cash from the Tampa Bay Rays. He has been the manager there since 2014.
How about that?
Dave Roberts for the Dodgers, 2015. The 3rd longest tenured manager in the major leagues right now, Braves manager Brian Snitker. He has had his name butchered or absolutely forgotten by John Longshore since May of 2016.
It's amazing.
That has been 9 years this month that Snitker has had to deal with John. Who's the Braves manager again? What's his name? Is it
no way?
Is it Bobby Cox?
Who was the guy before him?
Freddie Gonzalez.
Yeah, that guy's been there 9 years. I thought
9 years.
So whatever happened to my man? Was it Joe Madden who?
He was with the Rays for a long time. Then he was with the Angels. Then he's with the Dodgers. Now he's out of baseball right now. I think he's done with it. I think he's just said to heck with it all.
Yeah.
He was
good run down there. He came and brought the Rays to Riverwalk Stadium in that exhibition game.
He did. Great
there.
guy.
Yeah.
Big fan of his.
All right, last topic. Let's spin it and see what comes up. Well, we know what's coming up. We just got to spin it to make it official. And it's going to reveal the Tush Terminator. That's not
Tush Terminator?
Tush Terminator.
What in?
Okay, so
Desmond. This guy. He's a Gator. Desmond Watson. He is 437 pounds, and he got drafted by the Tampa Bay Bucks. He got drafted. He got signed something.
Look at this guy.
Played at Florida. He's not an every down defensive tackle, let me tell you that, because he pushes 437. I saw a comparison. He's 437, the largest player ever drafted. There he is.
He's got some quick feet.
And
Big
he's
boy.
in the same draft class as former Troy wide receiver Tez Johnson, who finished up at Oregon, who's like a $153.
Yeah.
Desmond Watson weighs 280 pounds more than Tez Johnson does. He is huge, and they call him the Tush Push Terminator because, of course, the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, famous for the Tush Push, just getting everybody behind Jalen Hurts, who can like leg press the earth, and you can't stop him. Well, this guy's 437. They got a little something in case somebody wants to just push the pile back.
I guess the Bucs play the Eagles in the regular season, or are they already thinking postseason that they're going to face the Eagles?
I don't know. We'll find that out, later this week, right?
Well, Wednesday night is the NFL schedule reveal, so Thursday we'll be going over a little bit of that as we're out at the Montgomery Regional Airport. We're at Stivers Fort on Friday. But tomorrow, Barry, it's our normal Tuesday lineup. We'll, of course, talk with Brian Matthews of AuburnSports.com. Travis Ryer of Ryer on YouTube, Talking Tide. Never know who else might pop in as well. That's why you got to watch each and every day. And I'm still, we're just, when we get maybe Wednesday, I brought this up last week, important stretches. So that's on the docket for later this week.
Calves, do this. Oh, other important stretches. Okay.
Could be that, maybe not.
Maybe not. Yep. Our thanks to Kyle George from Troy University, Josh Harris, the Moneyline magician, and for everybody for checking us out. Make sure you hit that like button down there and that subscribe button over there. You can access us on so many different platforms. Thanks to Gurn Jr., our producer. For John Longshore, I'm Barry McKnight. In association with Yellowhammer News, it's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.